Grown up in fucking.
Well, you know what? Now
Atlanta,
we're hot.
like,
now you know what I'm
in,
saying.
in the South.
Let's start that back.
Roll.
Start that back.
Let's just let it roll.
Because now we're hot. Now we're live. So
I have trouble saying the word
Rural.
rural.
Yeah, you really do have a hard time saying it, huh?
And I'm not even trying.
Rural.
That's just how I say it.
Am I saying it right now? I feel like I'm saying it wrong.
Rural.
That sounded better.
Rural.
Okay, now it's sounding weirder again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So anyway, welcome to Smark Thinking, where we talk about the pronunciation of words and things that aren't wrestling. Apparently, for whatever reason, we will. Okay, did you guys hear that? My laptop just quacked at me.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Hopefully that will cease.
Don't worry, because you'll hear plenty of quacking tonight, because we have a special guest here with us. Brandon, hey buddy.
What's going on?
What's up? I'm ready to hear you quack, dude.
Oh man.
Quack, 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 quack.
Oh, the hating has begun.
Oh, it's already started. Oh, here it goes. Only 90 kids will get.
That's great. So we got a lot to unpack for the night. It was a decent episode of AEW. Not as jam-packed. Last week was really, really intense. There was probably too much to go over in some aspects. But the first match of the night just kind of go straight into Matt Seidel and Christian. So I don't know what you guys thought about the match.
Brandon showed up late like a mark.
Yeah, I missed
like a
match.
WWE mark. He showed up. I feel like we should introduce Brandon a little more, though. So, like, this episode is last week it was just us, and you're a terrible host already because you already have messed this up.
You know what? I'm a terrible host in the sense that I also didn't even introduce us in the first episode.
Yeah, you really didn't.
So,
yeah,
People
but
don't know they're
like,
watching.
yeah.
so basically, I'm Corbin. Like, the host is Mike, who's supposed to be doing this. I don't even know why anybody's paying him. But then
if
we
I got
have
paid, I'd take care probably more. But
yeah, well, whatever. Nonprofit. We're here with Brandon, our residential WWE mark, who we thought would be the perfect person to bring in on a slow episode of AEW Dynamite.
I prefer pro wrestling aficionado.
Okay, yeah. WWE mark is really what you mean, though. So let's keep going. Now that the introductions are out of the way. Brandon, do you want to say anything else? I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. No, I'm just kidding. Do you want to say anything else? I know I shouldn't have done that. That was terrible. No, I'm glad I did it.
Nah, I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
You got me. But it's a pleasure to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, dude, I'm glad to have you.
Ruthless aggression to this scenario.
They quacked again.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess it's just me, man. I guess it's just me bringing the quack.
It's the quack detector.
It's the quack detector.
Yep.
But yeah, man, let's get into it, man. I'm excited to be talking about officially talking about my first episode of AEW.
Yeah.
AEW.
So I know you've seen one or two. We've kind of forced you through a couple, but now you're here, and now you're ready to like review a whole episode with us, and we pretty much got it. But you missed this first match. I think we'll come full circle here. You did show up a little late, and this surprisingly to me was a match that I think you would have really liked. The way that this match was paced, it was, and you've seen a Christian Cage match, probably a couple, right? You would have really liked it. It was good. For me personally, it was a little slow for the start of Dynamite.
Yeah.
But it was nice to watch Christian work a Christian style match. I wouldn't say it was a WWE. Did he pass the collection plate? No.
You said he worked a Christian style. Man.
Dude, yeah. No, I get it, dude. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Not bad. All right, dude. We're going to keep you around, dude. That was all right. That was a pretty good little zinger there.
Yeah.
But it was a good match. It was a good match. It was solid. I thought it was like I said, slow for an AEW match. I think that again, we've watched episodes of Dynamite together where me and Mike have said matches are slow, and you have been like, "Are you guys serious? Is this really a slow match to y'all?" But that was, all that being said, I thought it was a pretty fun match. Had some good babyface respect at the end of it. Taz came out at the beginning. I wrote, the first thing I wrote down was Taz on commentary is way more tolerable. It's way better in like small doses. Like it's actually way more fun. Nothing against Taz. It was great hearing him on my TV for tons of years as a child, but you know, I just think that there's like a time and a place, and it's nice that he only shows up when he's putting his boys over. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and there's some good sequences too. There's the grab, Saito grabs Christian's leg that's reversed into a headlock, and some of the sequences they do start off a little slow, but I mean I thought it was a decent match. I'd give it like maybe a C or something. I don't know. That's probably where I'd give it. I wasn't too. You know my thing with Christian. I want to see work, so I was just happy to see work. But that's the one thing I turned to you and said. I thought that, it did its job. I'm just not into the whole, like, stand up and hug each other after the match.
Oh, dude, that was great. What are you talking about? They hugged after the match, dude. Like, two baby faces.
There was a last thing with that as well. But,
you got to do stuff like that, especially if it is a babyface versus babyface match. You have to have them show some kind of respect. Otherwise, somebody's going to come across as a heel. Yeah. So I get it.
I agree.
Sure.
Yeah, it's all a part of the storytelling dynamic.
But last week, this guy's trying to tell me, give me reasons why a babyface match isn't worth or isn't.
No, I said a heel match makes no sense.
Oh, okay, my bad. But so a babyface
you can do.
You don't
because everyone's over.
Yeah, you don't.
Everyone's over. Everybody can cheer. You're either camp A or camp B.
I guess I get that.
Whereas when it's heel, it's just like you don't care who wins. It's like both these guys are dicks. I don't want Pac Omega right now.
No.
I want Pac Omega and Cassidy because it makes sense.
Which is why they have the match set that way. In a wrestling match, wrestling at the basis is always going to be a story of good versus evil.
Easily.
But you do not have to have evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have two faces. It's just that one face just has to be less of a face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Somebody's got to go a little bit lower than they're used to going in order to pull one out.
Exactly.
Sometimes Superman fights Batman, and Batman has to pull out the kryptonite.
Exactly. The reason that something like The Rock versus Stone Cold worked is because, they were both faces, but they were also both. I mean, they were douches. You know what I mean? Like, they were
absolutely
not traditional faces, so they could do heel as shit and still get cheered for.
Sure.
I'm sorry, this is a PG show?
No, absolutely not,
Fuck
dude.
no.
NSFW.
Okay, gotcha. Tenfold. So, so you don't have to have a heel, but you have to have a face.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
I guess I stand alone on an island then, where I don't see.
You want heel.
I think you can do it, but I just don't see I get the point. You wouldn't just set that up as a match constantly. But I don't. What was the argument we had? It was who were the two heels that you said we couldn't do? Now I'm forgetting.
Pac Omega. Let's just say, for instance.
Yeah, that might have been it.
If you do two heels, somebody is going to be a face by the end of the match.
And maybe that's your goal.
You know what I mean?
But I think I can't think of any great heel feuds or anything like that really was just like. And you said douches. I think The Rock had kind of an air of the arrogance there, but Stone Cold was more like an anti-hero. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, he was a douche in a sense of, Stone Cold was just do whatever he wanted to whoever he wanted to do it to.
That's very true.
So, and he got wild to cheer for it because it was just super cool and he was Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, he would just go up like Maven and just stun him. It's like Maven didn't do anything to anybody. You know what I mean?
He drop kicked the Undertaker out of the Royal Rumble.
He paid for that. So, but even The Rock, The Rock was just really, really mean to Kevin Kelly.
Oh, that's so true.
You know what I mean? People who just didn't do anything to anybody. So, you know what I mean? As entertaining as it was, they were not traditional babyfaces.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? They weren't just, fucking Bob Backlund out here or something. You know what I mean?
Truth.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, match was good. Well, I guess we can just kind of move on. The end of it is Christian winning with a kill switch, and the match.
An
I guess
unprettier.
clocked
Oh,
at
yeah, why didn't we go back to
fucking
call
matters
it
anyway.
prettier?
Kill switch sounds cooler.
I think that's what they call it, right? It's kill switch.
I like unprettier.
I think that's what it is now, but it's the unprettier.
Well, yeah, I just.
Was that what it was in TNA?
He called it a kill switch in TNA.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's why, because the WWE probably owns the name
No, I
They
don't
didn't
Unprettier.
know.
call it the
they own
unprettier
it,
when he
man.
came back either.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
know.
No. They
Well-
called it
If
something
Vince owns a move
Look,
set, I'd be.
That would
really-
be kind of
Yeah,
bananas.
but I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Whatever. He won the match with his move that everybody knows him for.
Exactly.
Post match here, which you get mad at me for this, but Rocky Jr. comes out. Well, actually, first before that, Taz gets on the mic and yells. But I thought it was a really good sequence.
Dude, I'm so tired of that, dude.
Well, he said a bunch of things, and I don't really remember what he said because I don't care. But what
This
did
guy's hating on Ricky Starks right now.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I don't get that in any fucking capacity. Ricky Starks. Listen, this is
Hey.
also because you didn't see Stroke Daddy in fucking in NWA, dude. Okay, so you need to like curb your fucking bullshit there, pal, and
So-
give Ricky Starks some spect.
So Rocky Jr. comes out and is handed a beer by Hangman, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean Hangman Page is my favorite professional wrestler. Period.
Yeah. Honestly, and I'm glad. I was saying to you, I was like, I'm glad they kept that gimmick because it's just so funny. Like, here, literally hold my beer. It goes out.
Well, I beat your friends up
Yeah, he gets the upper hand for a minute.
on Hobbs and Brian Cage, which I think is kind of ridiculous because those are literally the two biggest guys in AEW.
I don't get Brian Cage.
I don't understand how you don't get Brian Cage. What don't you get about
I
Brian
liked
Cage?
him in Lucha, so maybe that's why I'm.
When I see Brian Cage, I see him and I see main eventer. Like Brian Cage, and maybe that's just my WWE conditioning.
That is.
But when I see Brian Cage, nothing about him says mid card. He looks like he should be in the main event.
Have you heard him
Or
talk yet?
hovering a man around the
He
main
is.
event.
That's what you saw though.
Speaking of,
You
what did they do? Like, there was a whole thing where he makes this whole big deal to like Sting, I respect you, and puts his fucking hand out, right?
shake Sting hand.
Shakes
There's
the
a
hand,
whole.
then-
There's a
then,
whole
like,
thing.
Runs away.
Yeah.
Well, nothing happened, did it? I don't think there was anything that happened after that about that. They were just kind of like, nah. So they've done a lot of kind of stuff. With
There's
him where,
been-
like, it just feels weird with him. I don't know.
So look, there's been kind of an ongoing story with Sting and Darby and Team Taz, and Lance Archer kind of has thrown his hat into the ring, where everybody was just kind of like sniffing at the TNT title. Now there wasn't like a super cohesive story being told like all the way through there. I do feel like they kind of abandoned a Brian Cage face turn. However, as we've learned, as I've told you, as I will say week in and week out on this podcast, you must be patient. We must be patient with AEW because they do long-term booking. That is exactly what they do. They take a long time to tell a big story. So who knows? In the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe Brian Cage gives us some kind of face turn. He's wrestling Hangman Page at Double or Nothing. What are the odds that he gets beat? Probably because Hangman is the guy.
Future of the company.
Yes, the future of the
And
company.
we'll
Who
take out the one-wing dance.
and yeah, that's right. I love that prediction, by the way. I love like that Brandon has made that prediction. Put it on the mark board, Mike.
That'll be the one.
Yeah. Brandon's is that
Put on the
Hangman will
board
kick
for,
out a
Mark
one wing
bet. So for any viewers or
for 1,000 mark points.
Well,
I don't know. They're like it's like whose line is it anyway? It's completely arbitrary the point. So, but my point is, I think that maybe they're gonna do something with it, man. Maybe they're gonna face turn him, and we were just kind of alluding to that early, and the guy's not the best actor. Like he's not the best promo. Like maybe that's just the issue. Like right now, have you heard him talk yet, Brandon?
Brian Cage?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's why he's not a main eventer yet. But they stuck him with Taz and Ricky Starks and a bunch of people who can talk to teach him how to talk, because that's what they do in AEW. You're new, so I'll explain this to you. They put really seasoned old vets with younger guys who need the help to help them get over, not just to make the old guys fucking the main event at Mania. Okay? So, that's how it works. Lance Archer cut a mean promo tonight. We'll get to that, though. But...
Because I definitely want to piggyback off of what you were just saying
please.
about someone who should not be doing a promo. We'll get to that later.
Oh, okay. All right. That may have happened tonight. What's our next segment, Maiko?
We'll go to...
But essentially, we didn't explain this, though. Team Taz gets the upper hand. We're probably going to get to Cage and Hangman versus Hobbs and Cage next week.
Yeah, Cage powerbombs Page, and then after that, it's Varsity Blondes, and that goes into Pillman talking about how... or Pillman Jr. saying that Brian Pillman is not the reason necessarily that he got into wrestling, and that all he knew was the dark side of the ring, and was actually inspired by the Young Bucks. What were your thoughts about the promo? And what do you think about Brian's future in the company, things like that?
What I've seen of Brian Pillman Jr., he does have star written all over him. He definitely has a lot of work that he could do to get a lot better. I have not seen too many of his matches or too many of his promos, just fully judge him. But from what I can see, kid's going places. I can see it being a similar situation of him eventually breaking out. Because, when you look at him, he just has that thing about him that the Edges of the world has, that the Shawn Michaels of the world has, that the Jeff Hardys of the world has. And when you see him next to his partner, you can tell which one is the biggest star. You can just look at him and see it. So, I do feel that about Brian Kendrick. I'm not fucking Brian.
Did you say Brian Kendrick?
Brian
Kendrick.
Pillman.
That's a throwback.
That is a throwback. Brian Pillman. I felt that same way about Brian Kendrick, too, though. So.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, man. I thought that Pillman Jr. cuts a mean promo. I thought that was really cool. Hearing him cut a promo and talk about his dad very openly, and just like some of that the dark part of that we don't all always know and talk about professional wrestling because we're such marks. And that was cool. And he made a little plug for Vice and his dad's show, and that was cool. I thought that was neat. I think that when Griff Garrison took the mic, it's, as you said,
plateaued down to the little
Well, it's like, was he bad? No, not at all. No. But we were, it was following something that was really strong and that was really passionate. It was really real.
You don't not throw him a bone, right?
Oh, not at all. You definitely got to let the kid cut his promo. So. No doubts. No doubts.
Look at a Britt Baker or a Lance Archer. Well, I guess I can't say Lance Archer because we just assumed he couldn't speak because of the pairing with Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
And that could have been the case. But, look at people like that. Maybe it's the case that he becomes better. You got to get practice in some way, and it's just a little tiny promo. So, but yeah, I had to ask you. I was like, who's that guy again? Because I just completely forgot.
Griff Garrison. And, dude, the guys, we'll talk about later. He's a big old fella, and he's great in the ring, and they're a great team. I love that it's an allusion to his father's team, and it is just going to be a good springboard for him when he, as you said, he eventually becomes the bigger star.
And Corbin's dog.
Oh, Ziggy, come here, bub.
Ass.
You stinky boy.
It is just
stinky boy.
Really hard to go through my notes now.
What happened next, Mike?
So Moxley and Eddie cut a promo. This is actually when I actually missed part of this.
Yeah, we did step outside. We were smoking cigarettes like assholes.
But when we came back, it was the part that I did see is that they basically state that they don't understand why they're going to be invited to a super kick party when neither of them throw super kicks. So then it goes from Ziggy stepping on the mic. Ziggy, the mascot of the podcast, farting and fucking mics up all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then it goes into the actual match with the Acclaimed, which is a... It's his foot stuck on the game.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh God, I wish. Why are we not a video podcast right now?
I don't know, because that'd be terrible.
Okay. There's a. I'll pass it to you on the oral sessions. From your dog cannot get. That's too funny.
He's trying to kill me right now.
I know,
so
he is. That's great. That's why I wish it was a video podcast.
Dude, so I definitely like Max Caster and the Acclaimed, and they're really fun. And anybody who's comparing him to John Cena is an idiot, because it's nothing like John Cena, except maybe a little bit.
It's the first thing I saw.
Yeah, I know, because you're a mark, though.
That's not, no.
No, yeah, I mean, that's
that was
honestly,
definitely John
yeah.
Cena inspired.
But it was pretty funny, and he always has a hilarious line at the end that Buddy, whose name escapes me, again, because one person is definitely going to be a bigger star than the other. I just think that, like, it's those guys are gonna fucking end up rocking out somehow at some point, and that match was really fun. And I mean, did you expect them to go over on fucking Mox and Kingston? Like, fucking no way, dude. Absolutely not. Like, you're fighting two of the best top dogs in the company. Like, I don't know. What'd you think, Braden?
It was a fun match. It was I don't want to say a clash of styles. It worked for what it was supposed to do.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It was John Moxley and Eddie Kingston coming in, brutalizing the young, the young whippersnappers, if you will. You know what I mean? So for what it was supposed to be, I was thoroughly entertained by that. The rapping.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the rapping.
It's wasn't bad, but I can't say in 2021 it's like it's a little cheesy. It wasn't necessarily.
Talking about John Cena rapping to the ring.
Well, John Cena, but like in 2004, that was like kind of cool to see. But like, I also wouldn't want to see John Cena rapping to the ring in 2021. So I don't know. That wasn't necessarily for my taste, but I can see that being for somebody. So I'm not gonna shit on it. I'm just I'm there for it.
You chuckled a little bit.
I smirked.
You laughed.
I gave it a little corner smile.
A what
A
smile?
corner smile.
Corner smile.
One corner. Moved up a little.
Yeah, all right, dude.
I gave it a little corner smile. It was impressive. Wasn't bad. Not necessarily.
What'd you think about the match?
Oh no, I said the match was
good though. Sorry, I was putting my dog up, people. Sorry, he was freaking out.
What it was supposed to be, like I said, it was the two older, more experienced, drag out fight guys, like teaching the young whippersnappers a lesson. It was the same as if, like you said, comparing it to like two dads being in a bar and two young punks
and just beating the shit
out. Get their ass whooped. You know what I mean? So that's for what it was. That was a decent. I wouldn't even call that necessarily a match. That was a decent showing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even really consider that a match. It was more so like, they just like kind of beat them up. Young guys kind of held on, but they definitely got beat up.
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Ends with Moxley on a paradigm shift.
Sweet new tag move from Moxley and Kingston. I don't know if we've seen them do that before or not, but it was pretty cool.
What? I missed that.
Yeah, clearly. Kingston with the wheelbarrow into Moxley's
that's right.
paradigm shift.
Yeah, that's into the paradigm.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the actual thing I'm talking about. Yeah, so it was a good match. It was decent. What would you rate it?
We star rating it
Yeah.
on our inerrant 10-star system.
Why not introduce it?
All right, well, run it down, dude. Run me down the stars. We got psychology. Why are we rating this one?
Why not?
Because, all right, I guess our system.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, there was no well, you know. Hold on.
We'll say
You explained the psychology just a second ago,
yeah,
dude.
you're right.
And that story was told, sir. Now, was it told to its full extent? Maybe, maybe not.
You're right.
So when we think that, Brandon, and let me just explain to you other people here. This is how we rate it. So was the story told? Yeah. Was it told to its full capacity? I don't know. So it's a half star, Brandon. Half star for psychology. That's easy.
That's all right. That's
right?
I
Half
give
star for psychology, dude.
I give you that.
Was it the best story that was ever told? No, but there was a story told.
I give you that.
And you said it.
I give you that.
Not them. You,
I
sir.
did say that.
Now, how was the wrestling?
Oh, we're gonna actually go through it.
You just told me to. We have to.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so for the wrestling, I would give it maybe half a star.
What?
I give it half a star because I'm not really. I don't think Eddie's. I don't know if Eddie's gonna ever have a match now with a full Star Wars. Mox can do it, but with the addition, he always feels like I said, he feels like he's harnessing an injury or something. It always feels kind of clunky and slow to me. So I can't give.
Dude, yeah, he's been wrestling for 100 years.
Yeah,
dude.
I actually don't think
John
John Mox was that good of a wrestler.
I think it's just a different style. He's just a meat and potatoes guy. Like
Yeah,
was Stone Cold like the best quote unquote wrestler? You know what I mean?
Yes, he is.
I'm just saying though, like he didn't do there wasn't like the mat work like.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, the man of 1,005 holes.
We'll get to
it. Yes.
That's actually I think next. I mean, it's a good segue because that's cuts into Jericho's.
Yeah, let's skip the star rating thing. That's going to take forever.
So
you guys can go watch our video on our inerrant star rating system.
It takes the likes of General Steiner relativity and
combines it with Steiner typography.
Yes.
And Steiner topography, and then combines it all together with Steiner math and
quantum physics that are harnessed by Steiner's. It's science.
It's complicated. You wouldn't understand it. We're not going to explain it to you right now. It would take too long.
But it's inerrant ratings. But anyway, so that cuts to a Jericho promo, and as Brandon said, a Wild Malenko appears.
Malenko appears.
And they make reference to the 1,000 holds, to which Dean says that he's got 4 more than him.
While Dan Malenko appears, he uses reference attack. It's very effective.
Yes.
On all of us, anyway. Because we were like, when it was happening.
Dan Malenko and Chris Jericho on the screen together, and yes, they did reference the famous 1,004 holes promo from Chris Jericho back in WCW. It's so poetic that this is happening on TNT in 2021. So that was actually pretty neat. If you're a long-time fan, somebody like us who are only 30 but still considered dinosaurs, we saw that promo. It was golden then. It's golden now.
That's right.
So I would suggest you actually go back, and if you haven't seen that promo, that is a masterclass in douchebaggery by one Chris Jericho. He's been doing this shit a long time, y'all.
Oh yeah.
He's been pretty good at this wrestling thing for a long time.
Yeah. He cuts a fucking mean promo later on.
We'll he does.
That leads us into Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. They call out Sting. Lights hit. Then Sting and Darby comes out, skateboard in hand. That leads into a little kerfuffle, so to speak, and then Sting gets Scorpio into the Scorpio Deathlock, which he taps, and ends up ending with the Dark Order. Anything within the sequence that you guys want to talk about? Anything you liked, didn't like? What do you think it's heading, and do you like the direction it's heading?
Well, first, I don't think we did wrestling royalty service. You did not mention that Tony Schiavone was the one conducting the interview.
That is true. I guess I'm just...
We're just used to it.
I just guess I'm taking it for granted.
Here's the thing, Brandon. You watch AEW enough, and Tony's just there, so we're about it. It's like, you know what I mean?
But if we
Tony cuts the interviews.
WWE, I feel that even though they are just copy and paste backstage personalities, if Caleb Braxton's doing an interview, we must say Caleb Braxton did.
Oh, who gives a shit if Caleb Braxton did a fucking interview,
just
dude?
To give some context on
Who gives a shit if Caleb Braxton gives an interview, dude? And I'm not even saying that about Tony, about old Scavone, dude.
Is he the only one? Is he the only interview?
No. We saw it earlier. So Alex Marvez, who, and let's just take a moment. We were talking about the Man of 1,000 Holds. The person who was interviewing them was Alex Marvez. Now, at the beginning of AEW, they had Alex Marvez on commentary, and it was like him and Excalibur, and it was just like, dude, it was not flying. People were not stoked about it, and it was not working, like, at all. And I don't know what happened, but he basically became their Kevin Kelly. Like, he's the guy that everybody shits on in the back. But it's in turn... because he doesn't have to be there and be talking the whole time, like, it's in turn kind of made him, like, this endearing baby face. And I think that's kind of the same way you're like, oh, poor Kevin Kelly. Like, poor guy just can't catch a break. Like, The Rock's just cutting him off, talking about pie and shit, and like, like that's Marvez, dude. Like Jericho, like even his babyface Jericho is just like, no, beat it before you anger the Man of 1,000 Holds. like you know, and so that's we've seen a couple things where AEW's like put people in weird spots and then changed it, and it's worked for them. So I don't know.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I will say about that whole deal, Scorpio Sky's promos are not doing it for me.
Yeah.
That's really what I wrote down, and I wish they were, because I love Scorpio Sky, and he's so talented, dude.
Well, do you think it's weird to kind of put him with Paige in the sense of like, isn't it? I thought the whole point was to put him in a...
Like give him a singles run?
Yeah.
I don't know what the point is, dude. I feel like, again, we're just... Right now, there's a lot of space being taken up, and they're letting everybody try whatever they want, I kind of think. I don't know if that's what he wanted, but they're trying different things, and I think that at a certain point, you just kind of got to, like, sit and, again, be patient and see what comes of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Sure. They're a decent enough tag team. They both act like giant douchebags. So that's, you know, there's something to be said there.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I get the split up with the SU and all that. I just figured it was going in a direction, but.
And I thought
like
Paige's,
like you said, you know, you just give it time, and AEW usually does.
And I thought Paige's promo was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty decent. That goes into, you guys probably have a lot more to say on this. I was putting beer in the fridge while this promo cut, which was the Pinnacle at dinner with MJF, talking about how Chris is not funny, and then Dax goes on a rant about how they even have to deal with Chris after this long. And then Sean Spears attacks a waiter, and I don't know if you guys want to carry it on from that point. And then give it back to
This was a good segment.
It was a really good segment. I didn't catch the last part, so I have to go watch this over again.
Brandon, what'd you think? I know you were vibing.
This was a good segment. MJF was he was low over the top with his facial expressions, but I feel like that's just that actually kind of enhanced it somewhat. I do like the fact that which one of the LTR guy they changed that.
Dax.
That's
I
Dax,
think.
Dax Harwood.
That's
Dax.
It may have been Cash. I don't know.
He followed up behind MJF and he gave a killer promo. Man, LTR is so good as a tag team because they are in every sense of the word. They are a unit. I cannot see they don't have a Shawn Michaels or a Marty Jannetty in that team. They really are the brain busters. They really are Tully and Orn. You see one, you see the other. They don't outshine each other. They are a unit. And every time you see them together, every time you hear one of them, they come across that way.
Very much so.
Fucking Sean Spears goes crazy because the waiter wasn't pouring him wine, and I must say that one, I like that one scene of Sean Spears far more than I liked his entire run as the Perfect 10 in NXT, because
dude, you didn't like goofy, like stupid, like goofball Sean Spears? Oh, I'm so shocked, dude. You didn't like a Sean Spears that was geared toward children? You liked the Sean Spears that was gonna murder a guy because he didn't bring him enough booze, dude.
the Perfect 10 was cool for what
I
it
digress.
was, but that crazy psychopathic Sean Spears was brand new. And I loved every second of it. I really want to see how that
We
goes.
saw a glimpse of it when he first got here. You might have missed that too.
Did you get? Yeah.
But when he first showed up, he
see the
crushed
chair.
Cody's. We touched that
So
chair.
we got to touch
Me and
that
Mike
chair.
touched that
We
chair.
actually
We
got
went
see
to
the
the
real
we
chair.
went to the Nightmare Factory and we touched that chair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was like touching the Holy Grail, dude. It was super cool. It was like right after it happened too.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, they showed us the shave job on it. It was but we won't go into that.
Again, digressions here. Dude, he was really being pretty like wild and evil when he first got to AEW, and he crushed Cody with that chair shot, and he had Tully like cutting mean fucking promos with him, like, cause he was cutting mean promos too. It was a little dark, and it was nice. I liked it, and then they kind of dropped him, and he was being a little goofy for a while. It didn't have a lot of direction. They kind of just like. Really, what they went wrong was they put Cody over right away over him, and they kind of buried him. But he hung around, and like I think they try to find something for everybody to do, dude. I think that's why we have all the factions. I think that's why we get to this point where you're just trying to get everybody over at once. Maybe it's a problem is you're trying to get everybody over at once.
You know what's funny is like the last two of these two podcasts that we've done. First two, writing down these notes and doing it the way we have, it's like I start to realize there's a lot of shit for a show, you know, and so you got to give your respect in that way. So I think they're doing what they can.
Well, and I think Brandon, you could even agree at this point with like what they've done. It's like we're like what are we at like an hour into the show?
Yeah, I think so. No, 40.
We're 40 minutes. Well, you mean our show. I mean into, like, AEW Dynamite at this point.
Burp.
What, you know, it's like, by this point in Raw, you're half asleep. Like, there's just so much...
Oh, yeah, no.
You know,
Christ. Yeah,
there's just so much nonsense that goes on there, and it just kind of drags out. And at least we're giving, like, hot, quick, you know... takes and episodes on every week with AEW. That's all I'm saying. You've watched it with us a couple times now, so my plan is to convert you or deconvert you, really, because there's nothing to convert you to. AEW is just wrestling now because they have all kinds of stuff for everybody, dude. There's not just one style. That's all I'm saying, dude. You just come to the you know, the light side of the force, dude. It's chill over here, dude.
I knew that's what you were about to say. I knew you
the
Star Wars reference.
Yep. There's been an imbalance in the force.
What is that thing that the fucking Princess Jedi? Are you trying to tie me into your
Dude, you're a Sith. I'm a Jedi.
Padawan.
You can be my Padawan, bro. Come on, baby. You can be my Padawan.
Padawan.
Come on, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
This motherfucker was picking up this damn Bray Wyatt accent.
Dude, oh, you know it. You know it.
But
I done been the head off a snake just to taste the poison. Sorry, that was my last Bray Wyatt impression ever. Because I felt uncomfortable after I said it, like he was in the room.
that was funny.
What were we talking about?
Pinnacle
Pinnacle promo. Pinnacle's the best faction in wrestling today. Fight me.
Well, there's like 19 factions in wrestling.
Well, in AEW alone.
Yeah, you're right. They are the best faction in AEW, from what I can see.
I think so.
I would agree. I'd say the best faction in wrestling.
I still think that's the Bullet Club.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe at a time, but I'm talking about right now, brother.
Yeah.
Right now?
Right now.
Yeah, it's probably the Pinnacle.
And that's a lot to say.
Could have been the Hurt Business, dude. But
they've done so
Jesus.
much.
Could have been dude. I'm just throwing shade.
I will say
now.
though, last week totally brought their stock down a little bit by.
Oh, dude, shut up! Don't say
bad
anything. Don't be a
moments.
fucking mark, dude. Tully's also cut a bunch of great promos since he's been in AEW. So everybody can't hit home runs all the time.
I mean, you got MJF
And his
fucking
crown. I don't know. That was so weird that you just like clung to that. It was kind of a weird promo.
It was weird.
Hey, Sandy.
It was very strange. Then you get into Sheeta versus Rebel or Reba. Not Reba.
Rebel,
Smash was
not
very
Reba.
clunky. It was very clunky.
Yeah, Reba's not the star.
Yeah,
Dude.
that
She's
was
not the
clunky.
worker.
I'm not.
She's
Reba's
comic
not really
relief.
good. Yeah, she's not.
She's comic relief. She's not supposed to be, dude. Doesn't have to be.
He's defending Reba over here.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to be.
I'm not a.
I agree. It was stupid clunky.
It's clunk.
Sheeta goes over, obviously. Britt curb stomps her into the title. It was cool.
I like.
It's a good segment.
Yeah, post.
It was barely a match. It was like less than fucking 5 minutes.
It's 2 minutes long. So.
Yeah. It's 2 minutes long.
So that's a segment. That's
2 minutes. It was 2 minutes longer than it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squash.
Yeah.
Post match, Baker comes in and drops Sheeta onto the belt.
Curb stomp.
There's, I think one of the best match on the card is a different women's match on here. We'll get into
Easily.
but that was not a great match, in my opinion.
Not at all.
And that's not Sheeta's fault.
It wasn't supposed to be a good match, you guys. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You get that, right?
Nope.
You guys are being fucking marks right now.
Maybe whatever.
Oh my god.
And then we get
God.
into a pretty awesome segment about the last week about Omega and Callis coming in to see Cassidy after he had a concussion, and they basically hand him a contract for him to postpone his match for a different date, and Cassidy in his fashion rips it up very slowly, and of course they have an extra copy and hand him that as well. What do you guys think about the segment? I love the ripping. I mean, it's just classic.
Hilarious. Loved it.
But
Super
what's your
funny.
thoughts?
It was my first time ever hearing Kenny Omega speak.
Which is crazy.
I don't know how I've never managed to hear him actually use his voice.
Kelly said his character's like a coked out anime character. And I was like, that's fucking absolutely on point and just great. I love it. And yeah, that was kind of my impression.
Yeah.
That's a pretty apt description now that, like, when you say it like that. I mean, yeah, they're acting like they're crazy, like, geeked up, like anime characters.
Yeah, because there's like parts where
absolutely
like,
true.
no, stop it, no. He does that
Yeah.
shit where it's just like he seems
It's kind of
like
weird.
whacked
It's
out.
kind of crazy.
But yeah. So yeah, good segment. Anything to add to that, or do you want to move on?
Yeah, we can move on. It was a good segment. It was pretty funny. Orange Cassidy ripping the paper, typical Orange Cassidy fashion. Yeah, I can only imagine that happening like in front of a crowd. That would have got some really good laughs from it. So
Yeah.
it was a good
funny.
segment. Good stuff.
Yeah, and then that leads us into the inner circle responding to the Pinnacle from earlier. Ortiz says, Ortiz and Sammy say that this is never over. The promises to make the Pinnacle and a little bit of bubbly and make them flop around like fish. Hager cuts a promo as well, calls them bitches. And then, what do you guys think about that?
Well, when someone gets called a bitch in pro wrestling, that means that the feud is super serious now.
Yeah.
There's no more games being played. Hell in a Cell match.
It's funny that shit happens and the crowd's always like, ooh, but everybody also knows, like, it's not that big of a diss. But it's also, like, in the boundaries we're in, saying that.
Bitch is a big deal in wrestling.
Yeah.
But, good fire promo. Chris Jericho's great as always. Sammy Guevara and everything was pretty good. But yeah, good promo.
Yeah, it was decent. That brings us into. What does that bring us into? Let me get into my notes. That gets us into Deeb versus. I don't know if I said that. Deeb. Is it Deeb?
It's Deeb.
Deeb? Yeah. Versus Red Velvet, which is for the NWA Championship, which in my opinion is probably the best match of the night. Starts off super strong. I even wrote vote for best match of the night in my notes. And Deeb shows off some good technical skills, which I know you commented on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what'd you think about the match, and what was the takeaways?
Easily the best match of the night. Serena Deeb showed technical prowess that I was not aware that she had. This match alone made me a Serena Deeb fan and made me want to watch her with other women's wrestlers in the world. I would love to see Serena Deeb versus many other talents. So, best match of the night easily. Serena Deeb she's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it was good. She had one submission where she like wrapped her hand into like some Boston Crab style thing. I thought that was fucking awesome looking.
They don't just put the NWA women's title on anyone, Brandon.
Which, by the way, looks like plastic.
Yeah,
it looked like
it's
plastic.
It might be the worst.
Plastic on leather.
As far as legitimate titles that I respect, it might be the worst looking.
That is the worst.
I think it's the worst belt I've ever seen in my life. But
right behind the men's NWA championship.
No, that's a beautiful title. You're absurd, dude. Oh my god, dude. The internet just like lit on fire.
Yeah.
That title looks like fucking.
Oh.
It looks outdated. That looks.
Dude,
like
what are you
an
talking?
outdated
It's
title.
classic,
That looks like an outdated title,
dude.
man.
What do you think about the AEW title?
That belt's beautiful.
Okay, all right.
Pat
Mike's like moving on.
Yeah, I can't even speak. Pat cuts a promo. Let's move on and get you guys separated. Pat cuts a promo. I don't really have much notes about it.
Yeah, he basically scares Marvez. It was fine.
Yeah, and so then that leads us into a
It's
go-go.
good. Pac's scary. Like Pac. Can't believe he used to be
it's
Neville.
Typical. That's right. I turned to Brandon and I was like, you remember when he was Neville? And I think that's where I got distracted because I was like, gosh, crazy how where he's coming.
Guy's a bastard, nothing else.
That leads us into Anthony Ogogo versus Austin Gunn, which is a good match. There's some short match, another 2-minute long match, which ends on a knockout from Ogogo, which was probably the better way to book the match, and from my standpoint, from the pencil standpoint. Thoughts on the match? Thoughts on the finish?
Thought the finish was really cool. Match was okay. Not totally over on the stomach punch. I liked when he threw him up in the air and then punched him in the face, though. That looked like it fucking hurt.
It looked like it hurt.
I mean, not that. Look, dude. If Anthony Ogogo punched
Looked like
any
he
of
got
us in the stomach, the man's an Olympic caliber boxer. Like we'd be down.
Yeah.
Unquestionably, he'd put any of us immediately down with one gut punch. So I don't question that. I just question the look of the impact of it. You know, in a wrestling context.
He ain't exactly throwing Undertaker soup bombs.
Yeah.
And as legitimate as a fighter as he
exactly.
is, we can tell that he's pulling the punches.
You
as he
know,
should.
working punches here, guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is difference. There's a difference in the way we do these things.
So
So,
it accomplished what it was supposed to. It set up the match between him and Cody. Made Anthony Ogogo clearly seemed like a huge threat that Cody is going to have to overcome. But so yeah, it as a match wasn't anything spectacular. As a segment to set up a future match, got the mission accomplished.
yeah. Well, and I think Austin Gunn, like, he looks pretty good in the ring.
Yeah,
like, I think there's something to say that he looks exactly like his dad too, which is weird.
It was not. They managed to get the
But,
point across without completely squashing Gunn. Like,
Yeah,
he lost, but, like, he was compensating.
Yeah, he was like moving around, looking good, looking fresh, like, and that was fun. But yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously it was a squash match. We're saying we're building a go-go. Like, maybe Austin Gunn gets his day one day, but we're not there yet. Not there yet.
Not there.
I think he's some of those guys, you can't just push them right away because it's like, it's clear that it's Billy Gunn's kid. Like, and
He's young. He's got time.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time, dude.
It's like Jungle Boy. He can lose
Yeah.
matches.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got 20, 30
Even
years.
Darby can lose to Miro because Darby has 20 years left in the tank, assuming he doesn't kill himself throwing himself off of a building or something insane like that.
Yeah, so then that will lead us into Daniels cutting a promo. They don't say much about SEU splitting up. There's a whisper from Daniels to Kazarian. And then Kazarian's kind of booked here as a singles star. So what do you think about that? Is that intriguing or?
I think the only thing that's really upsetting about all of this is that we just barely had any kind of send off for SCU. That's just kind of a bummer to me. But other than that, I think it was time for them to go. I think that's fine. They've been around since the start of AEW. I mean, well before that, obviously, but for my eyes, they've been around for the start of it since the start of AEW, and maybe it's just time to call it a day, dude. There's so much young talent. I think Chris Daniels is probably about done, and rightfully so. The man has just put on 1.5 million good matches, several 5 stars in his own right. And I think it's good that I hope he stays in some kind of backstage capacity, which I'm sure he will, because those are all his friends that work there. Sure. It's in some weird WWE situation where they just hire and fire people, like it's like it's fucking Walmart.
Now you can just go to be the higher power, like you're supposed to be.
Dude, exactly, dude. No one ever talks about that, dude. But that wasn't gonna work then. No, should have been.
I know 9-year-old me was like.
Who's that guy?
Who the fuck's Christopher Daniels?
Yeah, that bald guy? No, I'm good.
Who's that guy?
I'm good.
Please stun him.
Yeah,
Immediately.
but maybe that would have been great. Or it should have just been Jake the Snake Roberts. Should have been cool too.
There we go.
Cool too.
I'm not. I just want to give my opinion on Kazarian. I'm not thinking that's going to go very far, but we'll see.
I mean, it's going to be good to have Frankie Kazarian who can still go in there. I mean, he'll like, a couple people are going to put him over, and then he'll go on to put over somebody in turn who needs, that's what he does. He's going to be a good hand.
That's the role. That's a good
for the next 5-6 years, and then he's going to have a backstage job just like a lot of people.
That leads us into Miro coming out, sporting the TNT title. He starts off by thanking Jesus Christ for giving him the talent to fucking brutalize people, which is an interesting way to start. I think it all put us in a weird... That was strange.
I think we all have our own different beliefs here, but I think we can all agree that maybe this wasn't the right time and place for this monster heel cutting his first promo as champion. Yeah, that's all.
I think a lot of
that's all, people
could agree that was strange, but
that was very strange.
Thing is,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you please, dude. I think I said my piece on that.
That to me further when I watch this Miro promo, I see why Vince had him with a mouthpiece. You know what I mean?
First thing he says.
The very first thing he says, I was like, man, this is not. This isn't working. Yeah, I mean, it didn't click. I don't think Miro should be doing promos. I'm sorry.
Hot mic. You just want the hot mic away from him.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing.
I thought it was fine. I don't think it was that bad. Like, I really don't. I think you're overreacting a little bit. It was okay, dude. It was alright. It was alright. Lance Archer comes out. They have a little kerfuffle, and you know what happens. Like, Lance. What'd you think about Lance's promo?
I thought Lance's promo was actually good from what I heard. I mean,
I've never heard him do any other promos, so I mean, I didn't really have much to go off of. But with Miro, when he was Rusev, he spoke very few and far in between, and what he said was effective. But here, when he had to carry a segment, it just wasn't that good.
I don't completely disagree with you. I feel like it wasn't as bad as you're saying, though. But I do feel like it definitely could have used something else. It wasn't just two guys who could pick up the mic and, like, carry a whole segment, like, and make it, like, this thing to, like, talk about. You know what I mean? It was definitely, so there was definitely something missing from there, whether it was a mouthpiece for one of them or what have it. But I mean, him threatening Jake was great. Like, that was awesome. He said, "Don't bring the old men, I'll kill him." He sounds like if you picked a fight with, like, an Eastern European dude, like, at a bar. Like he's just like, "I'll kill your old man." Like, I kill your old man and then I kill your whole family. I don't know. I've never picked a fight with any Eastern European people. But, and I wouldn't with Rusev because he's a monster. But I definitely think that, you know, it was a great, it was okay. It you know, they got to let him try, dude. They got to start, like, They got to, you know, he's the champ now. They got to give him something to work with.
Yeah.
And where's Lana? Didn't Lana get cut? Can't we just bring her in?
No, Lana's still WWE.
Dude, that's so sad. They put her in the worst angle of all time.
Yeah, she's still there, and I mean, she's
That's
actually
such a
like
bummer.
a favorable part. Like Vince McMahon loves Lana.
That's
of course.
crazy.
Yeah, nobody else does, except Miro.
Yeah.
Look at that, was voluptuous.
That's easy, dude. I know he said we're NSFW, but like, no, yeah. Yeah, okay, alright. I feel like I gotta, like, moderate this a little bit now. Jesus.
That was Vince.
Alright, dude, yeah, well, Vince, take it easy. What happened next?
Well, Archer goes on to say, everyone dies. But he wants to make sure that Miro dies first.
No, Miro said that. Miro said that
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Miro is going to make sure. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
that Archer dies first.
Yes, sorry.
As Archer would say.
Yes. Licks Dexia.
Dude, seriously. Get your notes together, pal. You're out of here. You're fired.
It's not a cross, it's a symbol.
It's not a cross, pal. It's a symbol.
Yeah, so really weird way to start it with the Jesus Christ thing and hurting people to the
Jesus
thing
Christ.
of yeah, I'm gonna kill you, Jesus Christ. But that leads us into I have at Varsity Blondes. I feel like there's a segment in before that I might be missing.
Definitely feel like we missed something. But it's getting late, so let's cut to that.
Sure, yeah, we'll cut to the tag team titles. Bucks are defending tag team titles. We got Callis on commentary. There's also Julia Hart there with the Blondes. Some good stuff from Nick and Matt. Typical kind of stuff. What's your guys' take on the match? I was decently impressed with the Varsity Blondes, but probably more impressed with the Bucks carrying the match for them. That was my impression. I don't know about you guys.
It's tough to say.
But I have to go back and watch it again because, yeah, I'm an old man. I get sleepy early.
Yeah. I thought this was a really fun match. It was well worked. I think that the Blondes probably have a little way to go, but they're also very young. And dude, all four of these guys like went up in the air at some point and did something crazy, which is fun. Was it the most like psychologically fulfilling match of all time? Maybe not. But there was still a bit of a story told of a young tag team versus an old tag team.
I just didn't see the urgency that I would want to see.
Yeah, I feel that. Maybe they didn't quite give that same, feel. I thought it was interesting that they put the Bucks over on Brian Pillman Jr. at the end. I didn't think that was the best decision. I think you could have let Griff Garrison take that tap. But, here nor there.
I disagree because he's the weakest of all of them in there. And I don't... You don't want to pin a guy like that in a way where he becomes the Kurt Hawkins,
Yeah.
The Bucks are still freshly into their heel turn. It's too early in their heel turn for them to be losing matches to anybody.
Agreed.
They should be racking up wins so that when they finally lose, it means something.
Especially with the way that they utilize the win with the sprays.
Exactly. So it's not like they are just straight up running through the tag team division. They are cheating to beat people. So no, that was actually a good psychology. Now I will say this: I haven't watched a shit ton of Young Bucks matches, but every time I watch one, I don't see what people are talking about when they say that they don't have any psychology. Because every single Young Bucks match that I watch has psychology in it.
Yes. Well said.
This was a very tame WWE style match.
Yeah, dude. Well done, Brandon. I didn't think you'd say such a nice thing about our boys, the Bucks, dude.
Every time
our boys,
I
Matt
see
and Nick.
one of their matches, it definitely has psychology. You know what I mean? They might do a little bit too many flips, but they do have psychology. But in this match, there wasn't too much of anything. It was a good match. It was a really good Young Bucks match. So, yeah.
Solid main event for a decent night of Dynamite.
Yep. 12-minute long match. Thought it could go. The length was all right to me. I think it could have gone longer for a tag team championship match. I noticed at like 9:44, we weren't getting too long of a match. Only other issue I had, like I said, was the urgency thing. I didn't feel like felt like a normal match. Didn't feel like a tag team championship match to me. Yeah, I thought it was a decent match. That pretty much ends the night there. In sequence there is Pillman tapping out, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that clears it up for tonight. We'll go ahead and log out for the night. If you guys enjoy the stream or you want to help us out, you can go ahead and subscribe. It's free to do, and you can always choose to just decide to.
And then give us money.
Yeah, and then you can go to the Patreon.
Because we're poor.
But no, we do appreciate any support at all. I saw a few people come in, and someone said hi, and so we appreciate that. For anybody else that watches this in the future, check out our other videos in the archive. We have some review videos as well as some cover videos when we're releasing more content. And we will be each week upgrading this from a audio to now we have 3 microphones to now we'll have some cameras and some lights, and eventually it'll look like a real show. And so if you do want to support us when we get to the point where we do have a Patreon, we will appreciate any donations, things like that. So thank you guys again. Much love, and keep thinking smart.
See you. Nailed it.
So I'm not sure